Okay, on this project we're going to cut, I went ahead and cut a base for that cardstock using the Pop and Cuts die. So that's the first one we're going to cut. And then we're going to cut a second piece for the inside of it. And this time I'm going to bring in the Pop and Cut label to add into this. And when you put this in here, you're going to see that this part is metal, it's magnetic. And so you want to slide your Pop and Cut die in there. There are little notches right here that they're going to line up so you know you have it in correctly. Again, I'm going to go ahead and use my notches that I put in there, marking my paper, because this is a 4 1/4 by 11. So I want to make sure I get it in there straight so that I can cut it. Make your sandwich. Bring in your Big Shot. Run it through. And then you have got, oops, here it is over here, the Pop and Cuts, where you can see where it cuts through and make the pop-up card. And it's actually very easy if you just go ahead and start to fold your card in. This part goes out. It'll just fold down, and then you just want to make sure you have good crease lines. And this is going to be the inside of the card. And so there's your Pop and Cut base. Really quick and easy to do. So, of course, I can't leave well enough alone. I'm going to go ahead and take in that card base, bring in my Simply Scored. Again, line that up so that it's butted up against the top and the side. 5 1/2 is halfway point for your card. And I score it in half. And then I'm going to take this and actually put it into the alphabet press. So it's going to slide in there. I'm just going to leave that card on the back there. And sandwich it. Open up my book. Run it through the Big Shot. Scoot that out of the way. When I open this up, I've got a base of a card that is embossed. I love it. And then I'm going to go ahead and actually put these together. And to do that, it's actually very simple. If you just make sure that you're folded and you're scored well, then you really just want to make sure you get some adhesive right around where that Pop and Cuts base is. And then this, you're going to just line up on your card base. Make sure you have it straight. It's kind of hard to see with that. Let's try that. If I move out there we go. And then pull this down. And then flip this over. And do the same thing here. Oh, I wanted to do something first. Oh well, there we go. Okay, so there we go. Now, the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and open this up. And I have taken some of my wheels and changed them, pulled them off the wheel, and mounted them on as clear stamps, and mounted them to cling foam. And I do have a video to show that. I'll link it, but it's on my page. And if you go in with your Versamark, and I'm just using Versamark because I just want this to have some real subtle birthday candles all the way up my paper. Now I could have done this stamping before I put this card together. Probably would have been a good idea. But this will still work. So as you can see, I'm just doing rows of candles all the way up my card. And I don't even know if it's going to show up in the video, but it's just a real subtle, look that you can see there. Just adds a little texture. So there's that. I'm going to just do a quick piece of Designer Series paper to the front of this. Tape it onto the front. And then I'm going to bring in the rest of that candle stamp. So what happens when you pull apart a wheel is that you get a stamp that's this long, and then you get, I had 3 extras, and so I made a second stamp, which is kind of fun. And I'm going to bring in my markers. And you're going to color in the flames. I'm coloring with Summer Starfruit. And then the candles, and I'm going to use the brush end. Remember, we have a brush end and a fine tip. You want to use a brush end when you're doing this particular coloring on the back of a stamp. It's much easier with the brush end. And that was Gumball Green. And this is Bermuda Bay. And get them all colored in. And then I'm going to come in with a piece of cardstock. You want to haw on it like you're steaming up a window. Stamp them down. Bring in a big circle punch. Oh. And we're going to add this to the front of the card. But before I do that, I want a little scallop. And one of the things I found is that if you're using the big 2.5-inch circle, this scallop here on the pennant die actually works fabulous with it. And so I just cut a little piece of cardstock. I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. Sandwich it just like I would. I just cut a little square of paper to go through there. That gives me my scallop, and I don't even have to worry about peeling all those out because I'm going to go ahead and cover it up when I add adhesive to this. But you can see how it just gives it a little bit of dimension, and then I'm going to add that to the front of my card. And I could add those with dimensionals, why not? They're here. And got a really quick front to my card. When I open it up, it's going to be kind of fun. I'm going to add a little bit more designer paper. And using my labels, deco labels, and as you can see, I put my framelits onto magnets so that I know where they are. But we're just going to add that right onto the cardstock. We're going to use the magnetic platform, which will be available in September. They're telling us. A clear plate. You don't have to have a magnetic platform at this point, but it sure is nice to have. And you're going to run that through the Big Shot. And there is your piece of designer paper, which I'm going to add right onto this pop-up piece, and you can see how it fits nicely with a little trim around the edges. And then I'm going to come on with that oval stamp from the Best of Birthday stamp set, that one that says Happy Birthday to You, and again some crisp cantaloupe. Stamp it on paper, stamp it on crisp cantaloupe paper, and this time, just to add something new, I'm going to use my large oval punch. And this time I'm going to punch out the stamp with that and cut out the banner in the vanilla. Just the opposite of the other project I did. Trim up my corners here. Come in with a dimensional. Add that on there. A couple more dimensionals. And add that to the inside of my card. And you've just made a really quick pop-up birthday card. Pretty impressive. Wanted to add a little more, you could do a little dazzling diamonds into your candles just to give them a little spark. Oop, don't get too carried away. It takes a few minutes to dry, so. But again, that glitter makes all the difference. Okay, there you have it. Thank you.